The Almost Perfect Podcast.
Welcome to the Almost Perfect Podcast, a celebration of fuck-ups, failures, and falling flat on your face. This is a podcast that believes you can learn from experience, but that experience doesn't have to be your own. Hi, I'm Bob Perfect, and I'm a functional fuck-up. Let's learn from somebody else's mistakes. And today we're going to be learning from Yaaseen Barnes and Richelieu Beaunoir. That's right, it's a 2-for-1 special. Actually, it's a 3-for-1 special, but you'll find that out for yourself a little bit later. So yes, these are two gentlemen who are fairly well known on the stand-up comedy circuit. Of course, Richelieu's been doing this forever and is one of the most instrumental guys in the Durban comedy scene, especially back in the day. Although he still puts on his laughing stock events and was the guy behind Brainose at the Bat and who helped guys like Carbon Goldstone and Neil Green get their start. So yeah, Richelieu, definitely a very important figure in the SA comedy scene, someone who's constantly performing. You will see him at a comedy show, no doubt, if you go to comedy shows. And Yaaseen Barnes is kind of a rising star, kind of already in that level of, being relatively well known now. He's pretty big on the internet. He's done some TV stuff. He gigs all the time. You probably know who Yaaseen Barnes is. You've definitely seen some of his jokes. I think his Penty one, the one with Rihanna's, if she had to do a lingerie line, call it Penty, that thing got like fuck loads of retweets. Like I don't even know how many, just far too many retweets to count. So yeah, they're both people whose names you've probably come across. And we have a really cool conversation about stand-up comedy in South Africa. This isn't really an almost perfect podcast that goes into, their early days and stuff like that, because it's hard to do that with two people, especially two people who are, not brothers or stuff like that. They're just two people from the industry who will hang out, and we're hanging out together that day when we did the podcast. And yeah, we get into a lot of interesting topics. We get into how people in different cities approach things, how audiences, are in different places, and just the different nuances, the different levels of comedy. And it's a really interesting conversation if you're a bit newer to the game. I think you could get some good tidbits out of it. And I think some people might catch some feelings here and there. Try not to. And if you do, maybe just, aim your feelings at the person who said whatever it is that made you get touched. If that person is me, almostperfectpod@gmail.com is how you can hit me up. You can also send me, nice things. Like if you're like, yo, I enjoyed this podcast, please keep doing more. You can do that. You can also almostperfectpod@gmail.com. This one is coming at you a little bit late. It has been a very long, emotionally draining week. And also I've had so much work to do. It's just been a bit of a rough one. So yeah, this is coming at you a little bit late. Sorry about that. I'll try to get things back on schedule for next week. I'm going to be chatting to JD and Daniel over the course of this weekend because he's got a new album coming out, which I actually feature on, which is kind of cool. Yeah, we're going to be chatting about that. You'll find out all about that next week. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can like it on Facebook. There's the Almost Perfect Podcast. I think, the full thing is there. You can also subscribe on Patreon. That's a thing. Yes, you can give me money for this even. Huh? What? Yes. Yeah, if you wanna. You don't have to. This thing's always going to be free. But if you wanna, you can give me $1 or $5. And it will help me get an editor, get a graphic designer eventually get a website, eventually just build this podcast up into a media empire of sorts. And it all begins with you. I already got 3 people on Patreon, which is awesome. Thank you so much to all of you. And yeah, patreon.com/almostperfect, I think is how you can find that one. And that's that. Go do that. Other than that, also, yes, we're finally on iTunes. That was the last thing I had to say. We are finally on iTunes. You might be listening to us on iTunes and you're like, yeah, bro, I know. But maybe you don't know that, and now you do, because that's the thing people are asking for. So go rate, review, and subscribe on any platform that you're listening to us on. Give it like a little 5 stars, at least, maybe 6 if you can, 7. Well, if it's 10-star system, give it 10. Don't give it 5. But if it's a 5-star system, try give it 6. I don't know if that's going to work out for you, but it would help me. Also, comments and also subscriptions help with all of that. Helps the algorithms get this out to just be on my immediate circle. So that was a little bit rambly, and here comes the podcast. Enjoy. So yeah, you guys just got back from Clarence. This is Richelieu B.
Hello.
Richelieu Beaunoir.
Richelieu Beaunoir, all the way from Durban, now in Cape Town. You family of
So
the
you
other
still claim the
Beaunoirs.
Durban thing, even though you're like hardly ever.
I don't. Actually, I was thinking about that other day. Like,
You're
how
a
long do you
Joburger.
need to be in a city for you
To
to be
not
from
be.
that place? So I actually lived in Durban longer than I've lived in Joburg. So once that time exceeds that time, then I can say I'm from Joburg.
But I think as your adult life, like that, it changes a little, doesn't it?
But I think it's also the thing of, for the sake of posters, you will always be from Durban.
Or it's like
Yeah.
Martin Davis will always be a UK comic, even though I don't think he's been in the UK for like 20 years.
I don't think he's allowed back either. Also. If you're listening, thanks, Martin.
Yeah, and the other, I doubt it. He has no idea who I am. And the other gentleman, of course, is Mr. Yaaseen Barnes, who you no doubt know from Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, that's where I like to spend most of my days.
that's where he's from.
Yeah,
The internet.
yeah, because I was going to say, Richelieu you would know from TV, but
Wow. Yeah, people pay to see me. They spend data. Still counts.
well, so that's it. So you feel like because people, actually have to like spend money each day to like get your jokes, whereas people can just turn on the TV and there's Richelieu. So.
Richelieu, what have you done
No,
on TV?
he
Lots
won,
of things, bro.
but the main thing would obviously be winning the roast battle.
Winning the roast battle.
How was that?
That was dope because, like, for winning the roast battle, like, because they asked me if do I want to enter. I was like, do I want to enter? I'm already in. I was already in, and then because like from the culture from growing up in Durban was that
Yeah, just chilling.
it was always a thing. So for me to win the thing, I was like,
What do you guys call it? Is it guara there by you? What's
Yeah.
the terms that they use?
it is
for-
quarring, just straight. No, because in Joburg it's quara.
Yeah.
In
Quarry.
Durban it's just
You don't have the
quarring.
extra ah.
No, yeah, you just go straight.
It's like the difference of dala ying and dala ring.
Yeah. Subtle changes. Subtle.
Nuances.
Yeah, so to win the roast battle, like for me the best part was coming up against the other comics because
Did you feel underrated at the time? Because, I mean, it wasn't like you were an unknown comic at all, but some of the guys you were up against did have TV behind them. They did have, like, big names. They had, like...
and for me the idea of doing a roast is that you should actually be underrated.
Yeah.
It's a good
Because
stance.
then people
Yeah.
don't have enough, like, material on you. It's,
Yeah.
that Slim Shady and 8 Mile thing.
I'll out myself.
Yeah.
So they didn't expect it. Because if you watch the thing, John says like, "Wow, surprise!"
Wow, but anyone who
Richelieu
knows
won the
you
first
definitely
time.
wouldn't
Yeah.
feel surprised.
Then wow, surprise! I'm like, fucking surprise! Watch at the end. I'm coming all the way, bro. Deep down inside, I was like, you're gonna be very surprised when I start getting really, really bad and start talking real cuck.
But that's the thing though, you went funny. Like you didn't go dark. Like a lot of the other guys went with dark things, content, I'll say.
Yes.
Especially because the roast opens it up for it. But
Yeah.
you went funny and like old school and like silly, and I think that was the most endearing part of it. When everybody's like, this is just silly.
But that's the thing, if you can win people over with even that, be a bit endearing within your thing, like, I mean, did you have a strategy to it, or were you just like writing jokes, or were you just like, did you actually think like, if I write it this way, if I position myself like this, it'll work for me, or did you just do your own thing?
So what I did, see when they initially told me that they're doing a roast, I sat down and I just started writing insults freely. Like,
Just for anyone.
you so
Like, anyone
fat,
can
you so
catch these.
thin,
Yeah,
you
okay,
so
cool.
tall, you so fair, you so dark. I just wrote, and then I kind of got rid of that part of it. And then like, okay, you're coming up against Ebenezer was the first guy. Then I'm like, okay, cool, Ebenezer, and I thought of things about him, how he looks. We always thought he was homeless.
Yeah.
And then I just was like, I'm gonna hop on the fact because he looks homeless. So I'm like, even though you're gonna bar it, you're still gonna look homeless. You can't change it.
But do you worry with stuff like that? Because obviously calling someone homeless in 2018, like
That's-
No.
that's very anti.
It was 2016.
So everything you said before 2017.
No, but it's
gets to
also it's
pass.
a roast battle, bro.
Exactly.
So the context, but this is the thing of the context was a very important thing.
Yep.
Because I had this year, Robbie was saying things about like Muslims.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, I know it's a joke. I know the context of the thing. But
Right.
I had people message me like, yo, why did you let him say that?
Yeah, the Mulana.
Yeah. And then I was just like, no, guys, it's
It's a joke.
Yeah, the context for the thing.
You could have spoken about my mother, or you could
Yeah,
have spoken about
yeah.
my wife,
Yeah.
whatever.
Do you guys agree that there's no rules in a roast battle?
Yes, there is no rules, but at the same time,
Funny first.
yeah,
Okay.
because
That's the main
if
rule.
you
I
make an
think.
insult about my kid, it's not gonna be funny.
Well,
It's just gonna be harmful.
But what if it is
Yeah.
funny?
It can never be funny because people don't know my kid. it can be generically
Well,
funny.
yeah, so like maybe they're not making fun of your specific kid,
Right.
but like maybe they're making fun of you being a father. But then it's
Yes.
not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that thing of, I think fun is first before anything else in a roast. Like you can smell when something has bad intent.
Yeah. Most of
Yeah.
mine. You get a roast battle with me. All the years of pent up fucking jealousy and animosity that I have towards you are coming out.
and that's the thing with
But that's
roast.
actually the idea, though.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
to-
yeah, that's why you
Like,
do
I've always
roasts
wanted
too.
to say this to you.
Yeah.
that is essentially the thing of roast. Is like there is the thing of only roast the ones we love, and it's meant to be this cathartic thing
Yeah.
of like like it's almost like a bloodletting or like a purge, where it is just like let's do this thing where we all just like get rid of the tension like in the scene for like the year.
Yeah.
Like that's how I imagine roast battles to be.
But this year they wrote the roasts for you. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
So
Yeah, that's
so
right.
they
Oh,
so
yeah.
they gave you a roast, and then you had to give in your roast, and then they had to like check it
No,
so that it
that's
was
bullshit.
of the standard of the show basically.
That's
'Cause it-
bullshit.
no, so what happened was last year.
Do you have it for?
What were they
Was
worried
it
about
last
not being
year?
good enough?
You're talking about
The year, but
previous
see,
one.
that's weird because I
2016.
thought your one was way I thought that roast battle throughout was way better than this year's one. This year's one there was a lot where I was just like, and now now I understand why it felt tamer.
It's written
No.
it's written by a team.
No, but what happened was, so the first one, guys, were coming with things, but they
wasn't
didn't know
funny.
how. Yeah, it wasn't funny. So this year they came with a thing of here is some funny, but a lot of the guys went to freestyle their own thing
Yeah,
and not having the backing. So I feel like in some sense it's great that they had like people to help you, but you didn't have to take it, but you had to learn from it. If
Yeah.
that makes sense. Because there was who was it?
okay. I mean that's fine. Like if it's like helping you workshop something,
Yeah.
like that's better than just.
So
Being
you
like,
had to meet with him, and then we discussed what the
Yeah.
roast was.
But that's the reason I didn't want to get in. Is of course I was like, so it's basically not me versus you. It's whoever wrote for you versus whoever wrote for me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like
you see, I get that for a roast, but for a roast battle, nah. Like,
yeah, for a roast.
Yeah,
Yes. So they
okay,
use
yeah.
like the same thing as they use for the roast, like the same steps. So like, okay, we need it to be entertaining, and we need so it's basically it's produced TV.
Yeah.
It's not roast battle per se, because for me, I was happy that I'm coming against others that are writing. So okay, fair enough. We formed our small little cliques. So if you got friends and we'd write, like I wrote for some bits for Yaaseen,
Yeah.
or I wrote some bits for Robbie, whatever. So and everyone had like the little cliques,
Yeah.
and then so like for me, that is cool because like if it's Bob, Neil Green, and Calvin, they fucking come together and they write a bit, and then you'll meet maybe Carl Weber and they write a bit. That
that's
makes
not,
sense.
That's not really a Durban thing, like writing together. That doesn't really happen.
No, I'm
much,
saying like
but I
if
get
you want to
for
roast,
that.
like I'm coming up against Richelieu, what do you know about him that I can
Oh,
use?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So like, or what do you think I should attack on him? Or like
so
that
was
type
it
of
a
thing.
bit of a team thing?
It was, but it was little pockets of teams.
Yeah, it's
like,
not like
people were
a
supporting
squad.
each other.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, it's also the thing I love about the roast is that it's always it's never malicious.
Yes.
Never.
Except the one.
Have you been in a roast
yeah.
battle at all, or would you like to?
He was in both of
Yeah,
them.
I did
Oh,
both seasons of the
I didn't
roast
see.
battle.
You didn't make it that far in here.
I beat Chris Forrest in the second one now,
Which was
and then,
amazing.
Yeah, Chris is great. Wait, how far did you make it? Because I saw the semis and the finals of both.
and then I lost to Robbie.
Okay. I didn't see the earlier rounds of either of them. I saw semis, I saw finals, and then
Of the second season.
first season, and then
So
second
the
season.
first season I only made it. I beat Vittoria, and then I lost in the three thing that they did, that initial. Did you see that?
Oh yes, when you have to roast John.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
But that was awkward though. I didn't enjoy that.
I've got a
step.
good one for him. But I'll wait.
I mean, like, you're
Yeah.
just biding time.
Like when I was in, I wrote for Dylan. So if you watch the final, I wrote for Dylan. So I didn't expect Dylan to not make it through. So Mark Banks made it through. Out of the whole lineup, the one person I didn't expect was Mark Banks. He's literally the one person I didn't
You
write
didn't
for.
write for.
The only person. I wrote for every person on the roast. Like every person.
But that's how
was-
you have to do it though, because
Yes.
you don't know who you're gonna face.
And you must
Yes.
just be ready for everything.
So there's 36 guys in the roast. I wrote literally for every single person. Like Victoria, I wrote for everyone.
How many,
I wrote
how
for
many jokes
Kanye.
did you have for each? 5 to 10.
Yeah, like 10 for each.
Yeah.
Some I had more. I wrote for Donovan. I expected Donovan to go through. I wrote for Skulk. Skulk was the hardest, and then he jumped out
What's
and
Skull card?
to write for.
Wow.
He was difficult.
Oh, but wow. Why
He's
would
too
you-
obvious.
Yeah, okay, because
It's
that's what I'm
also
saying.
right
It
for
doesn't sound, because that's the thing, like,
If
if
they
you just
can-
look
if
at
they-
him and make fun of him,
Yeah.
but then that's the problem.
It's too obvious.
So yeah, it's the thing of going like for the easy joke is a problem because the crowd can see you taking them there.
Yeah.
Like just in comedy, that's like a thing that just for me personally, if a joke is too easy and someone in the crowd could make the joke, then I will never.
You don't
want
want to do it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So now you
Really?
can't talk about...
Like, I've heard some of your jokes.
But that's the thing though. The thing is, there's some gags where you go, "This is the easy one," but I'm gonna set it up with something else.
Yeah,
or you
so
go,
you follow it up. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay.
or you stack them, or you go, "These are all easy ones, but they're all linked."
Because you love
Yeah,
your cheesy jokes.
I love it. I've based my career on the cheesy jokes.
And you, Richelieu, what would you say you've based your career on?
Just been handsome, eh? I'm just working
Is
on
that why
trying
That's.
to
I was gonna say. I was gonna say it's surprising that you're doing this well.
No, like for me, I was saying this because last night I was chatting with Liam and Kurt. Liam Bento,
Okay.
who I met last night, and it's Kurt, yeah? Kurt's
Kurt.
the other guy.
Kurt Langeveld.
Langeveld.
No, not Langeveld.
Skunda.
Skunda.
Keith, sorry.
Oh, Keith Mokram.
Yeah. So chatting with him because Keith was doing his first set at the club, at the comedy club. So
Town.
yeah, Cape Town Comedy Club, but he was very nervous and that type of thing. So like I'm saying, so after this I'm saying to him, look, all you need to do, and this is my mantra, is that you just want to be entertaining. Because what happens is you get caught up in entertaining like the comics that are watching you, or you
That's
get
the
caught
biggest
up
fuck
in
up
trying
is
to impress people. Like for
performing
me,
for
it's just to
comedians.
be likable. So I just want, when I come out on the stage or in front of people, I just want them to like me. That'll make them laugh anyway.
So where does that come from? Like, do you actually have a will to be liked, or is it just for the comedy thing that you
No,
think
it's
necessary?
not in life. I don't. In life, I'm like fuck everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, like I know you. You don't tend to give too many fucks. Like,
Yeah, that's.
But I feel like that's the thing with a comedian. The weird thing is, off stage we don't care, but on stage we have to care.
yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Like for me, like I have, like in life, I don't have to. Everybody doesn't have to be my friend.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like I hang with Yaaseen,
But your
or
job
I
as a
hang with
comedian
you.
is-
But I'm saying like I hang with people that I vibe with.
Yeah.
And it's just the easy way to go. It's like I don't have to hang with everybody. So when I go to stage, the guy that Yaaseen knows, it's the same guy that I perform with. But the guy that another person in our crew or that's sitting with me doesn't see who the person that's always with me or the person that I vibe with sees. They just see the other person that we're not really friends. We're both comedians maybe. And when people, like if I'm sitting with a comic that I think is a dope comic, and he's let's just say he's Luis Ogola and he travels all around and it's great to watch him and I think he's funny. I don't, when I sit with him, want to be his friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't be like, yo, no, you're so, yo, man, you're so good. Like I don't have to
That
do
must
that.
be one of the most annoying things about being on that level as a comedian. Is all the younger comedians just
Want to be
like some of your
friends.
time.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's just the thing of
In
like,
Durban, that's a problem.
comedians don't need to be friends with each other. I think that's the thing we need to
oh,
learn.
it's so accurate, but like, because I imagine all the people there, like exactly every single one who like literally when a famous comedian comes through, it's just
It's
like,
too much, bro.
Yeah.
bro, I'll take you anywhere, bro. I'll drive you.
Yeah, yeah. And that's exactly like when I was there with Jay.
guys
I'm
are
even
hungry.
like, yo, bro, let us just go have a drink somewhere, bro. Like, now you're literally bombarding me.
Or
bro.
the comics fanboying,
Yes.
but like
No,
comic
but they want to
fanboying.
grab information, so it's an information
It's
grab.
because the thing is, like, it's understandable because in Durban our scene's a lot smaller and we don't have access to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bigger comedians as often. So like, if you go to Joburg, you go to Cape Town, you get to perform with big names. You get to learn just by being there. Whereas with us, you do get the big names like Neil and Carvin, and like, because I mean, I don't consider you necessarily in the Durban scene
Right,
anymore.
absolutely.
So, because you perform more in Joburg and here than
Right.
like Durban typically. So Neil and Carvin are kind of the biggest guys, and
Yeah.
but here you've got like 20 guys who you could go and watch and are on that level. Like maybe not 20, but still.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And the same thing in Joburg. So that's why,
Successful
like,
working
I get why
comedians.
Durban comedians do like cling to any semblance of like, you're good at this. How
Yeah.
do I get there?
Because I asked
Like-
Carvin, because when we were there, and then I said to Carvin, I was like, yo, bro, I don't understand why are they not giving Jay a break? Why is everybody all around him, bro? And then, because Carvin, the same thing happens with Carvin.
Yeah, Carvin is mobbed in
Then he
Durban.
said,
serious?
he said something which makes sense. He said, because he's in a place that everybody else is not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But he also, Jay's in a place where people want to be.
Right?
That thing of fame and funny.
Which J is this, by the way?
Jason Goliath.
There we go. Cool. Just
And-
needed it for
Sorry.
So they're trying to grab information from him. Like,
Yeah,
who
because-
do you bank with?
Because also, yeah, but also
Skeptical.
because the Goliaths have publicly made it. Like, you know, they've created a brand. They are, and they've done it in a short space of time in
Yeah.
comparison. Like,
Right.
And they've become the next. So there was the wave of, I'll say, new South African comedians called
the PMS
Pure Monat.
group.
Your Pure Monat squad. And since then, there hasn't been an official step up from the next wave.
Officially, yeah.
Yeah, like we have the guys that's there, but none of them have done like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. None of them have done like the TV things, the movie things as big as that first
Yeah.
wave.
And I think
Because
Durban
the
is the
first- the first
furthest
wave
from
happened.
it though.
Yeah, we are. the
And I
first
think
one,
that's
like,
maybe
Because
that's
of
why
the
that
lack of like you don't
Everything.
do castings for TV. Cape Town is obviously the hotspot, and then I'd say Joburg is second, and then Durban.
But,
yeah.
but Joburg, you've got a lot of gigs, like, so you can just.
But I feel like Joburg
perform
also
a lot.
has
In Durban, you don't.
Right,
Yeah.
that too.
Joburg also has opportunity in the sense of there's like writing and TV things happen there.
Yeah.
So in Cape Town again, we go like we don't have access to SABC. We don't have access to even ETV producers on that side more than they produce
Yeah.
here. So for us, you can get like TV spots in the sense of like ads you can be featured in, but there's
You get a
no
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Cape Town gets a lot of ads.
yeah.
Like-
But then it's not you can be in an ad. I was in an ad for German insurance. Then I was like this.
Well, weirdly enough, in Durban, like I've been in adverts just for like, well, we're India essentially, and I'm a European tourist. In India is the adverts I get booked for in Durban, like legitimately.
So you're big in India.
Well, yeah, I've been to India a few times for the adverts. Yeah,
Yeah, but what I was alluding to is like the familiarity in Durban among the comics. It kind of gets to me because, like, 'cause when I started doing comedy, okay,
and you're
there
one
was
of the guys who actually started the Durban scene, like you and
yeah,
Colin,
there was nothing really happening. There was like literally no gigs. I didn't even know
Yeah.
that the thing existed. Like we used to run like one of I think 2 gigs in Durban, right? That was it. And like you would meet, I don't know. I met Trevor when I was still there. John Flismus. I met Eugene Koza. Like they all came through to Durban, but it was all a thing of, oh, you do comedy, okay? Let's see if you're funny when I do see you perform. And that's the relationship, you know.
Yeah.
And that was all. So now I find when you get this, like you were saying, come let me drive you to like, yo, bruh. I was like, Kags and I went there when Kags was there. Then I'm looking, I'm thinking, you don't even know Kags, bruh. Do you know what I mean? I know you don't know Kags.
but you gotta drop the name.
But I said to him, so
yourself feel
yeah,
better.
like I know him, but I don't. You don't.
I never say I'm friends. I
Yeah.
say we're like colleagues at most.
Oh yeah, like Kags and I went to the chairman last time he was here. And I'm like, that's all well and good, but
No, Kags went to the chairman and you followed him.
you're sitting with him ordering daiquiris.
Because the other thing of you know in your heart who you're actually friends with and who you actually bonded with.
But it's also, I mean, you know, like part of us wants to be friends with those guys.
That's also
Like
true.
I know, like I mean, same. Like when I see Kagiso or I see like even Conrad Koch and stuff like that, guys like you come up.
But
to
you want to be civil.
You want to be. Oh yeah, that's it. You want to be, but that's also the thing for me. It's
You wanna
like
be Daryl
I'm not gonna
Williams.
suck. Ooh, name dropping. This isn't live from the Winston, bro.
Oh yeah, but also don't care. We spoke about this.
That's what I said. That's for you.
Does not need to be
It's just,
like.
the problem is I'm gonna get cucked now.
Yeah, you won't.
Yeah, you must go back to Durban.
No, but I'm just using that
No,
as
but
an
no,
example.
but because Daryl did do that, especially early in his career. I think he's calmed down on it now.
Telling us how to run the pet center.
Ooh,
Come
wow.
on, bro. I've been running the pet center since 2009.
Yeah, Laughing Stock Comedy. You've been doing it for a
Yeah,
while.
dog. And then they come in 2008, 17 and tell me how I can make it better. I'm like, leave it, bro. It works.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Yeah, I mean it's packed every time.
Yeah. What are you gonna do now? I'm like, it's already
Actually,
working.
I hear I like Daryl because he does have passion. I just think it can be a little misguided.
It's a misguided passion. Yeah, that's true.
But,
I actually
but at
wanna
this point, it seems like he's a lot more level-headed than he was maybe even like a year ago. Because he had a not meteoric rise, but a quick rise in the scene. Like he got popular pretty quickly. I think it got to his head a little, and now he's calming down a bit.
I wanna
Maybe.
actually want to
That's
spend
good
more
to
time
hear.
in Durban because I feel like Durban it's like a beast of its own.
But it is though.
It really is.
Like
though.
the rhythm of humor is different to the rhythm for the rest of the country.
Yeah,
and I'm
that's
saying
why
that
I'm
it's-
funnier everywhere else.
And I'm saying that thing of like Durban and Cape Town and Joburg all have their own rhythm too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Cape
what?
Town is very different.
Yeah.
Because last night I was
Cape Town,
supposed
you
to
literally have
do.
to be slower.
Because you have to do 10 minutes, right? At the Cape Town Comedy Club. That's
Yeah.
the rule.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Brad, for me, it's not my regular thing. It's
'Cause
different.
short.
And it's also different because like you take about 15 minutes.
Yeah, to warm up as a host.
And that's the
It
people
must
you
be
know.
Must
Yeah.
be so long since you've done like a 5. Like, it's like that you're like.
Can you even do 5?
I can do 5, bro.
Because it's like it takes me 15 minutes to warm up. I'm like, no.
Not to warm myself up, to warm the room up, like to get used
So
to
when you're hosting, so you're
Yeah,
hosting
I'm specifically referring to hosting. Imagine 15 minutes and then they're laughing now.
when you've got an hour, like
Yeah,
that
that's
is
true.
the like vibe. Like
But like yesterday, I looked at my watch and it was like 7 minutes had gone, but I didn't really pay attention. I was just like doing what I normally do. Like when you're comfortable, bring the first take on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the rule of hosting.
Alright?
then you can feel it.
And then
Yeah,
I
and
came
so-
off.
and
And
so
like,
don't be a-
18 minutes. I was like, 2 more minutes, that would have been 20.
That's the thing of then you also as the host you sort of it's your job to do the thing.
Yeah.
So you must make them viral. You must let them go.
Although
and
there are some hosts that are just really addicted to the stage.
that's
Like
also a
Right.
problem.
They-
But I want the people to be comfortable, so like.
you never
But-
want your
but you
first
can-
act to come up cold.
But
Yeah.
of course. But you can also, if you do too well, you can fuck over like the first
Yeah.
act. Like,
But I also can't rush it. My pace is cool. My pace is
Yeah.
is chilled. It's
So
like,
the thing of you, a host also again as a comic, you know when you are stealing the light
right.
yeah.
and you're stealing laughs.
I don't know.
basically.
Yeah.
I think some people don't know, or they know and they don't.
Because
care.
sometimes
Yes,
in life
it's
you
that-
can feel when people are loving you. Then sometimes I would just literally walk on and be like, "That was Yaaseen. The energy is mad
next
There's the
person,
next guy.
Yeah.
of course.
because it's going well."
Yeah.
Now you do. Now the host does well in the first act as well. Then he does a bit in between.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
sometimes you don't need that, but
Yeah, no. Sometimes you must just keep it.
because you got the flow already.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
because I would sometimes feel like you okay. Then at times I feel like I'm doing it too much. Then it feels like you're cheating your job.
Yeah.
Then you have to do a bit now because I
Yeah.
just brought 2 people straight on. Then I have to do like a break and like, okay, let me do a little gag or a little improvisation.
Although, do you sometimes like feel like you want someone to like do badly just so you're like, yes, I get to do.
Okay, more time.
I never want anybody to do badly unless.
But that's the other
like,
thing.
Unless you're like,
But even so, right? When I watch comedy, I never want people to do bad. It's such a weird thing.
Yeah.
Even if I don't like you,
because that's who they remember.
but also the thing
The
of
show was cock.
yes,
But one guy, bro.
yes. For the sake of a crowd coming back, I genuinely love seeing everyone do well.
See, I
True.
don't mind if 1 or 2 people do badly because I'm an average comedian, so like, I look way better when someone does and I don't. They're like, yeah, Bob was pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and you,
But meanwhile, when everyone's killing and I do pretty good, like, Bob was average, yeah.
but
It's fun. So for me, the thing of even if I don't murder on the night, I must be memorable.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a thing that I've done with my own style where I go, I don't kill like, you know when you watch the vernac comedians how they
God damn
murder.
it. There
for an hour each.
there
You!
are laughs there that you'll never get in your laugh.
It's a rhythm that we can't do,
Yeah.
and it's for in a voice and to their people.
But
that
it's
we
also
and
like,
it's stacked. It's stacked
yeah.
laughter.
Ooh.
Continue. No,
Yeah.
like I've been at like the Olive like Center like in Durban where like a lot of the vernac shows happen.
Yeah.
And I don't even like international comedians can't do this.
Yeah.
Like anywhere in the world you can't get laughs that big where people literally jump up out of their seats.
I
like,
can imagine that like in Mandarin. I feel like China.
But I also feel like
I feel like
Apparently
they can.
China's actually got a decent stand-up scene. I've got a friend who's living there at the moment. and
Yeah.
he's like,
yeah, because
I can imagine.
That's
I was like, how do they have a stand-up comedy scene in a place where you're not really allowed to say anything you
yeah,
want?
they
Yeah.
don't even have Facebook where they got comedy.
Yeah, but that's good. Because we can do Facebook jokes the whole time.
Hey, there's a few comedians. in
People
South
be
Korea
killing
who do
you.
that.
No, so but that's the thing. Also, saying back to like my rhythm. With that said, though, I noticed when I perform for Cape Town colored crowds, that's my vernac. Because there's words and phrases I can.
Oh,
do.
I've seen that actually. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Not just for you, but like
Yeah,
for like Cape
yeah.
Town comedians where I would never be able to get as big a laugh because I can't connect that same.
Yeah.
laugh.
I'm gonna call Bets into my vernac then.
Yeah,
Definitely my vernac.
So then you go, because that's a room where you know the phrases. You know if you talk about the corner of
You know
this
the
road and that
area.
road,
Yeah.
that people lose their shit for it.
Yes, yes.
And that's essentially it's because vernac means it's your language, like vernacular. That's the thing. So it's not that necessarily.
Oh
like,
yeah, no, well yeah, that's exactly what.
Yeah. So then it's like if I play premium in premium sports bar in Mitchell's Plain, then I go, that's my people.
Oh, it's us.
Yeah, exactly. That's that thing. So I realized like it's also just that's not my space, and I have my own space where I can murder on that level. But if I'm not like in my vernac scene, I can when people leave the show, they go, I remember you.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what I want to be.
I think it's because you're tall.
Like a lighthouse.
That's always adjust the mic. I remember you were the guy that adjusted the mic.
Yeah.
2 minutes. So that's the thing of being memorable is also like it's a different kind of humor. So yeah, being memorable is key for me.
But like that's what I find. Like in Durban, I go and I host the Bat Center, and I have these dreams of doing all this material that I roast, and then I'll wing it the whole night, and then I'll be upset with myself. I'm like, could have been so much better because now I haven't done anything really.
Yeah.
People have been laughing, but I didn't do anything I wanted to do.
So is that the difference like between like hosting and headlining? Because hosting, I find you never. Well, I hardly ever do material these days. Like if I'm hosting and stuff, and sometimes I do get a little. I love it because it's like yes, I got to just make up shit. And
Oh, I love that magic.
It feels amazing.
Yes.
But at the same time, like I love also just doing my set, or not my set because I don't have like a set one, but like I love being able to just
Do your bits.
yeah. like. The whole thing, not just like start it and then veer off and like. So,
but if you have a bit,
you host as well.
I'm learning to host. Only this year I started hosting, and it's a thing of it's scary but also freeing at the same time.
Right.
Where you genuinely and you know what's freeing is that you don't need to be the funniest thing of the night.
You don't have to be the funniest thing,
I
but
think
you do have to be funny.
That's, yeah. Like the Cape, like I know I'm mentioning the Cape Town Comedy Club, but I think the shape of the room because it's like a massive rectangle and you're at the bottom end. That makes you feel like you have to work.
Yes.
As opposed to any other room. Where
even
Collide Club got that feeling. Like it feels like you have to work.
Yeah.
You can't just
I think
relax.
it's the high roof.
I was going to say also because of the seating situation. Like do you find dinner tables versus just seats like a big difference?
Personally I do.
Yeah.
Because what happens is people form these little pods of energy.
And then they talk to each other.
Yeah.
And, like, they get
and they can nudge
distracted.
each other and then they can look at each other in the eye. Whereas when they're all looking at you, you're basically controlling the energy.
That's why like I love the underground in Joburg when it like used to exist. That was like my favorite room for a long time because it was literally you walk down the stairs. There's 100 chairs and a stage.
And it's 20 rand a person to come in.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it would
that was my
out,
first gig I
nice.
played when I first came to Joburg.
Yeah, that was my first gig in Joburg too. I really enjoyed it.
Right.
But it's also the thing of where have you done Napster's gig where they do on Mandela Day?
Yes, I have.
Where they play the national anthem before.
No.
Yes,
So everybody stands up, they play the national anthem. But what's crazy?
Does it get like louder for Distem?
Oh no.
But what's crazy? What it does to the room though, because everybody, because you're united by something, you go, okay, we've all sung the song together. We're next to each other. There's almost like an equal balance. So they laugh together as a crowd. But when you like, there's some rooms where people are just in pockets and they go, I'm not gonna laugh because of the people over there.
Yep.
Right.
So if I do a joke about white people, then like the colored people go, no, there's white people there. We're not gonna laugh as hard. For that.
Do you find that? Okay.
That's something I find at least. Where some people don't laugh because of other people.
Because the demographic of the joker in the room.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's why always the homeless jokes.
They never. Unless you're doing jokes outside.
After the busking.
Yeah. So I feel like when you can unite people on one joke, then they all go, okay, we understand that we are all people here, and let's laugh together, and so that's like when comedy.
Yeah, that's magic. That is that the 67 minutes for Mandela.
Yeah.
It's not even 67 minutes. It's like 2 hours.
Yeah,
it's 2 sets of 67 minutes.
Because every comedian's got to go over time anyway. So like,
no, you can't go over time because you do.
There's a massive clock on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like a countdown.
Yeah.
Like you have 3 minutes.
Like
and
Jam
it's
When I went up, I was just like, yo guys. This is how Mandela wanted it to be, to have a Muslim guy in front in a bomber jacket with a timer on, and none of you are cucking yourself. This is the way it must go.
Exactly.
Do you find, like, for yourself having, like, do you find you have to do Muslims or terrorist jokes, or do you enjoy it at all? Because I saw you do, like, 1 or 2 the other night where you skirt around it a little bit. So, are you worried about the stereotypes?
Not really. Like, I feel like in South Africa we're very cool about it. Like, it's not a thing for... Like, they know it, they know the stereotype, but they don't think that of Muslims in...
Yeah, because that's also the weird thing. It's like, To think of Muslim in South Africa as a, like...
No, you just... The most they think of us is that we all can fix phones.
I was going to say that, or own corner stores.
Yeah.
That's like...
Yeah, it's weird stereotypes though.
Yeah.
It's like, you're good at, like, making my electronics work.
That's a compliment. But so that's the thing of... I do the joke because I find the joke funny, but also not everybody in the room understands the dynamics of the thing. And we all understand that, no, you're not...
But you feel like if maybe you did it in America, well, you wouldn't do it in America if you had to go there?
I don't know. I think I might try it though. Just like, let's just fuck around.
Have you tried? Have either of you guys left the country?
I think no, the furthest I've been was Swaziland.
And how was comedy
It
there?
was dope. We played in the Kings. The King.
Oh,
Well, the
wow.
King goes everything. He's got nothing to do.
Swaziland is that small.
No, I was gonna say, there aren't that many people in Swaziland anyway. So
And
it's chance of the king being around.
Because there's a guy that was like our tour guide type of a guy, and he says to us, "Listen, guys, the king is out of bounds. Don't." And the king's face is everywhere, like on every wall. On like they sell the material at the little markets. They got that shwe material with his face on it. His face is everywhere. And then he tells us about the king. He said the king has 13 wives. He gave us the full history of the king. The one
So he
wife.
gives you all this ammo. He's
Yeah.
like, you can't make jokes about this, but he's got 13 wives.
The wife and his one wife was cheating with the bodyguard.
Is he dead?
He just
Kevin Costner.
So Simi was there, and Simi immediately spoke about the king. I was hosting. I was like,
Of course he did.
Classic Simi.
yeah,
Don't do this thing, Simi. I'm gonna do this thing.
yeah. So I did anti comedies. I was just stating the facts. I was like, I'd love to make jokes about the king, but we can't do jokes about the king. The king has 13 wives, and his one wife was caught cheating, and that's not funny. And
Did they
people
go
are
with it?
killing it? Then I'm like, I'm looking over to the side. I'm like, this could possibly be my last gig ever.
Ever in your whole life. Like,
Not
this
just
could
like your last thing in Swaziland.
Yeah.
And you're seeing this comedy taking you places.
I did the Harare Arts Festival like a few years ago. Not the, what do they call it? Not the Haifa. It's something, I think it's called like the Haifa or something like that.
Lots of cows there.
High five.
But also, sorry, in Zim also, back when Mugabe was there, his face was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like in every shop you walk into, the first thing you see when you come in is his face. You go into the hotel, it's there. It's in every room. Like in the hotel, in every room in the hotel, his
And
pictures
was it
That's how you
photos, was
treat
it
sites.
photos from his current stage or from when he was younger?
Current stage.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
like middle stage.
Yeah, updates. All his pictures are updated.
But it was just such a weird thing to go like, whoa.
But that's actually a unique experience, bro. Like to go into a dictator
Yeah.
territory
Also,
and
we-
see
jokes.
and also see what
How
this
real
what
it
the
is.
fuss is about.
and also, so we drove past like his estate, and then they were just like, please, no photos over here. And you're just like, what are you talking about? It's like no one's allowed to walk on that side of the grass. No one's allowed to take photos. And you see these big billboards saying like, this is like a cleared zone. No one.
But
does anything.
that's got nothing to do with dictatorship. That's just a good yard habit. Don't walk on the cross, bro. I've been here for weeks. I've been watering this thing, throwing down
There's definitely not
manure.
those rules within Kandla. There's so many photos.
The god is sitting in the corner like, what? Why the fuck are they walking on the cross? Shit, just like-
Nkandla had a pulling there. Come see more of this thing.
Oh fuck yeah! I would actually love to see the fucking top billing of in Kandla. That would be hilarious.
But with that said though, I'm just remembering now, in Zim, they had the same thing that you were speaking about in Durban. Where I got there and I was like, yeah, I'm not like a thing, but just the way the comedians were with me was also the thing of like, yo,
You've got something to give us.
wow, you're like from the real world. And
Yeah.
you're just
It's like being an adult with sweets.
yes.
Like the cool kids.
I felt like the cool cousin, the cool older cousin where everybody's just like,
Yeah.
tell us anything. Just
How's it there?
yeah. Like, how's gigs? Like, what do they pay you? Wow. Can you say anything you like? Because that's another thing
What does
that
a boob feel like?
Actually, can't talk about Mugabe.
yeah, no, so they
In
really
South
so
Africa.
they say you perform and then like the next day they'll get a call from like state security of like, yeah, we heard you did material about so and so, could you please not do that or we'll come visit you.
Yeah.
And then
but
call-
I downplayed because I don't want them to all come and perform here. I'm like, shit back home. Bro. That's why I'm here. If it was great, I wouldn't be
Wow.
here.
Are you worried about comedians coming and taking you lunch?
Yeah.
Especially because there are a lot more. So you've been at this for a while now, and
Yeah.
you've established yourself. You're relatively successful. You're, I'd say, getting there. Like
Yeah.
you're established enough, but maybe not on the same level because you're doing it for longer. But you might actually be a little bit more worried about the youngsters coming up now because it's more competition. Whereas for you
are part of the youngsters to some extent.
To a degree, you're like leading them almost.
Yeah.
Like.
But what I think is, for me, it's like I don't worry about youngsters coming in. It's good for comedy.
Yeah.
I do worry about people that just think they can do comedy.
Okay.
That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, because now there's just a bunch of people that have been to a show and like, I can do that. No, maybe because like because now they're having this competition now called the Kamikaze Competition, and it's 4 weeks of heats, and it's 15 acts per week. That's 60 acts.
Wow, I would.
And I looked at the lineup just from 1 week because I was performing there. I looked at the lineup of 15 acts, and I knew 2.
Wow.
And I'm like, so there's still another 45 acts. Who are they? What are they? Why are they?
It's also the thing of like, it's for me again within comedy, you can see someone's intention.
Yeah.
Do you want to be famous? Are you actually funny?
Do you want to do comedy, man?
Yeah. That's the thing.
So that's like, for me, that's the thing. It's like, because I'd say it excites me to watch comedians that are just doing it because they wanna, I don't know, be associated with comedy.
Yeah, or they just want some sort of, like, they want other people to see them as a comedian, not necessarily.
Oh yes, because now you change your job title on Facebook after your first set.
Do you know how many people are called out on Twitter already? Where I see them, so
they do one gig. And
one gig, next day I see a comedian, then I was like, sorry my guy, you must change that the way. Because I pay balls with this thing. Don't say now you're doing the same thing like me.
I need to get 2 years behind you.
But I think you're being a little precious there.
I am. No,
but it is annoying, bro. You can't
you gotta earn your stripes.
Yeah, so it's such a...
It's for your own personal thing. Like, how long were you able to say, I'm a comedian?
3 years.
You weren't just one day did this gig and came home and like, yo, everybody, I'm a comedian.
No, I was proper 3 years in the thing before I was comfortable saying, I'm a comedian.
Yeah. See, I've been known to tell a joke or two.
Yeah, I was early on, like, within like the first like 10 gigs, I was like, I'm a comedian. And then after that, I was like, I'm not a comedian for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Early on, I was like, yeah, I'm a comedian, I can do this. And then I died. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not.
You can say you're doing comedy. Yeah. That's fine. You can use that title.
Yeah. I've been jumping on stage. I've been trying out things. Yeah. But you can't just call yourself a comedian. Yeah. It's weird. Like, you don't just go to a panel shop one day and next day come home like, yo, I'm opening a panel shop. But I'm a panel beater. You don't just do that, bro. I'm an actor. I did a skit one day.
Also, I put a plaster on. I'm a doctor now. I watched 6 seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
That's basically it. It's like I did one thing and now I'm a comedian. That's. But
it's also because I guess like people for like, you know, once you've been on stage the first time, it is a big like achievement almost. Like you feel like you've succeeded. Like after the first time you've got up a lot of time. If you did succeed, like I feel like if you died your first time, you might not feel that way. But like, it's pretty hard to die your first time because you've got friends in most of the time.
But sometimes there's more other people than your friends, then you fuck.
I've seen people go for the first time and die.
And do they get back?
But that's actually a good time to die. A good time to die is your first time.
Yeah, I love when
you don't want to do it on TV.
When you see guys come up before they've gone up, then they go, yeah, I'm a comedian. And then I'm just like, hey, this is gonna be fun because the cockiness is on point. Yeah. Go on, and then you just like,
it'll humble you.
Yeah,
like I love. My favorite thing. So with underground comedy. The whole thing is to teach people, like, so the headline and host are typically picked from the week before, so it's 6 open slots, and then from that, the best guys that week go up for headline and host. But what I love doing is giving the guys who feel pretty good about themselves, and who have done well, the headline slot, you know, because it's like, cool, you've been doing 5 minutes for a while, let's see you now do 50.
Yes, that's what you do over there at the Winston, where you get, like, people you wouldn't ordinarily expect to host the show or to close the show,
because that's how you get the experience to do it. Like the Winston, like, as much as obviously I do want it to be a good experience for you as an audience member, you as an audience member are also paying 30 Rand and must understand that this is our dojo.
This is what you get for 30 Rand.
Yeah. So sometimes it's not going to be as good as like when other guys do, but in 2 years' time, all these people are going to be good at this thing. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them are going to be way better at this thing.
There will be a drop-off percentage.
Yeah. But
sometimes I feel like the drop-off percentage is not strong enough. But some guys need to just finish sooner.
But before you used to have like Ronnie Modemole or you'd have Eugene Koza, they would literally just come up to you after your gig and be like, dude, don't do comedy anymore, bruh. Like,
so
just
swag.
don't.
That's harsh.
You're
And
never gonna make
so,
it.
so, yeah, so here's
So the
the
drop of rates was higher.
Because the thing is, there would definitely be some gigs that if you saw me at, you would come up to me like, bro, is this really the thing you want to do with your
Yeah.
life? Like,
And that's what they used to do. They'd like,
No,
just-
but then
that's
at the
thing.
same time, if that's gonna sway you, if that's gonna make you not do the thing,
Then it's good.
Fuck you. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
then-
then you shouldn't
then
be
it's
there.
well placed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I swear to God, if any comedian had to tell me not to do this thing, I would chase that comedian in particular. I'd want to be on every fucking bill with that guy to blow them out the water.
Yeah.
Like, and just be like, fuck you.
but again, it's such a weird thing of, because there's no like there's no official titles and timing to the titles and stuff like that. So some guys just are oblivious to
So, yeah,
the thing of
they
going
also don't have a filter, like a personal filter. They don't know what's going on. Like,
no introspection. The
Yeah.
thing of going, I died for 3
59
months.
times.
Yeah, I died for 3 months with the same set.
I'm gonna get them one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the crowd that doesn't get it, bro. These people, they don't
Then
get
you,
it.
and you do an egg joke, and he's like, I've been doing an egg joke for 3 months. Firstly, he stole my egg joke, and now he's made it funny.
But
Fuck, it was weird. Like, I got a little annoyed when I first saw someone I do this, and this, that means I'm unemployed. Because I did that thing, like, and I thought I was being original. It was like, and then I heard it by someone else, and I was like, hey, bro, like, you know, like, I know you've heard me do that joke. But then I went around the country and I heard like so many comedians do that thing.
Every
like,
comedian.
I'm at that at blah blah blah. I'm unemployed. I was like, God, I'm a hack.
Yeah.
No, but it's also the thing of, so like I've had the discussion with a few other guys where they go, yo, did you hear so and so stole my joke? Then I was like, yo, you need to calm down. It's a common thought. People share ideas.
Oh, yeah.
So you need to, and when you go to the person, don't go, you stole my joke. Go, yo, I have a joke that's like this. Let's discuss the thing.
Yeah, I had the same thing with Vanna Clutie about like having a cheat day, like treating my relationships like a diet because I always have a cheat day.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like I heard him do it.
He does
and
have it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd done that for years as well. And I mean, he was in Joburg, I was in Durban, and I heard him do it. And I was like, ah, shit, I got a similar joke. Like, I'm never going to do it.
But sometimes you have to give it up.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you're like, yours is better, my man.
See, whereas I was almost the exact same.
Yeah,
so I'm just like, I'll never
you
do it
can't-
when you're around, but I only do it sometimes because it's a setup to another thing. It's not even like.
That's
the
also
main
the
joke.
problem. It's like when one leads to another, you can't. You actually, if you have to get rid of 2 gags,
Yeah.
if you're getting
But even
rid
then,
of,
I'm not that precious about keeping gags anymore because
Yeah.
you can just write more. Like,
you can't write more. That's the amazing part.
yeah, but sometimes it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. That's
Do you
Wow.
guys ever go through that?
you do.
Been through that
It's
also.
when you're trying to write that you can't write.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it. They're like writer's block that they speak of. But if
Sometimes
you
it's
try
a
and
forced
write,
block, yeah.
Yeah.
it makes it more evident.
But I also find like forcing yourself is good discipline. Like, because you can also, you might not be feeling it, but you can write a pretty good joke even just out of writing a joke. Like, out of just going, how do I write this joke? What do I want to go? So, here's my topic. What's funny about this?
Yeah.
You can get a joke out of it even though you're not feeling creative or anything.
Yeah.
You can literally
I get
workshop a
into
joke.
like a jotting phase.
Yeah.
So I get like
Like
that's why I
a
have
week
my,
or
that's why I'm carrying my
a
notebook.
week or two of just like, yo, this idea.
Yeah,
This idea.
very
And you
jotty.
just-
See, I just voice note myself like
Yeah.
every day basically.
But I find that my
I'll think
voice
of something.
notes they disappear into the earth. They stay on my phone. So that's why I'm rolling with Yaaseen. Okay, I have my notebook with me right now because I'm in that jotting thing.
Okay.
Where
So you find you got periods. where-
Yeah, yeah. Like yesterday I jotted things down and I just went straight on stage and I did it immediately. And that's the best for me. Like I want to do it, write it now and do it now. Then I'm like, because that helps you get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you write it and like, I can't do it today. There's too many Muslims. I can't do it today.
Yeah.
There's too many. So
Yeah.
whereas if you just do it,
For me, the problem is just forgetting like a fucking joke. Like there's so many jokes that I've got that are new jokes, and I'm like I put them in my set like in the middle of bits that like I know that always go after each
Yeah.
other, and so like I always forget like no, I want to try this here.
plug
and,
in.
like,
What you have to do is
just go
take it
past
out. Yeah. Like what I used to do at the beginning is I used to have 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it was. Whenever a new joke started fitting in, I would take out my closer.
and put that in there as the closer
Yeah, no, not even as a
No.
closer. Then I'll have to make another one better.
to
So,
make
like,
it your closer.
Make it my new closer,
That's
and then I would just keep swapping it around until things became new. And like so, else sometimes I'll take out my third gag.
Okay, so battery died. That's
Wait, when did the battery die though?
just now, and that's why we just stopped.
Yeah,
to do
so-
this.
No, I mean like it didn't die and then we just kept on talking. Like it
No,
doesn't.
like I heard the thing go,
You
and
saw
then I
his
was like,
face.
yeah, I was like, oh shit, that's weird. I can't hear myself anymore. Which is weird because I can always hear myself. Oh shit! So wait, we're talking about writing bits.
Yes.
I feel like we lost all momentum here.
So
That's going to be an
no,
awkward edit.
So the thing of you were saying that you would take a bit from an idea that you thought of straight to straight
yeah,
to the night.
so you would
Yeah.
change it up.
So that's
Yeah.
my like for me that's my new thing is doing the bits and getting them out. That's why I did the one-liners. It was merely an exercise for me to write bits today, perform bits today, put them onto social networks and let the bits go, and not be pedantic about these are my bits. These
Yeah,
are my,
That's
can't
great.
Yeah,
wait
like-
for them to mature.
I had a similar thing, like even just the other day, like I posted like my Cardi B joke, which when I like did it on stage, like killed, absolutely killed, and then like I put it online and it killed, and like Connor was like, why would you put that online?
Yeah.
And I was like, 'cause
That's
it's a
what
good
Neil,
joke.
yeah, because Neil
Yeah.
phoned me, he's like, yo, dude, I think you must take that video down. Some of those bits you can work them. I'm like, bruh, you can do the same bits for 3 years.
Yeah, that's
because
so
it's
true.
also how often do the same people come to your show anyway? Like
None of them come to your shows. bro.
maybe
no one on social media ever comes to the real world shows.
never.
Lindy and I were
Even
discussing
if
this
they did
earlier.
come to your shows, they would still. It's different when you say it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
watching something
And they
live.
also don't remember everything you say online. It's so narcissistic to think, yeah, they would definitely remember
Yeah.
everything I posted. You consume so much online.
This is Lindy on the podcast, just in case you guys didn't know.
Yeah,
All the way from Paul. Like, she's actually in Paul and just talking cack loud.
All
Yeah, I
way
think
from
the
Paul.
one with the interview with Lindy will come out before this interview. So
Okay,
that'll-
so they'll know who Lindy is.
they'll know
Yeah.
who Lindy is
Okay.
if they haven't got a
They
TV.
recognize my voice.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say if they don't have Twitter or TV, then
A Twitter.
yeah. Well, you haven't really been on SABC yet, have you?
No,
You haven't been
no.
on Bunch.
She
Out
featured on
yet.
Generations for 2 years. But I mean,
Oh no, I've been on Netflix 99. Yeah.
well, that doesn't count.
So
And have
that's-
you been on TV, Yaaseen?
So in my first year of comedy, or like that first year and a half, I got asked to do a Comedy Central spot.
How long?
No, it was just like a feature, like it was a lineup show.
Okay, so like 5-10.
Yeah, and then it was so weird because I told him no. Like they called me, they were like, "Yo, Yaaseen, it's a show about religion, but you don't need to do religious jokes." And I was like, "No, thanks, bye." Put down the phone.
Wow.
Because I was just like, it's way too big for me. Like in my mind, because I was like, yo, there's Simi, there's Riyadh, there's Joey. They should be doing the thing before me. But and then I figured out there was
I
other
love that you
stuff.
put Simi in that group. He'll feel so. I actually don't know how you'd feel about that.
No, because I
Yeah.
genuinely said there are other comedians
have
who I
put
feel like
Mango
should be
Dev
doing
in
this
there as well.
before me. Because I was like inexperienced, still fresh. And then
But
they
see,
would.
most people would jump at that opportunity.
Yeah,
I-
but most people aren't smart.
Thanks, Lindy.
No, I agree with you entirely because this is the thing I say to a lot of younger comedians. I'm just like, no, you don't want to be famous yet. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing of I genuinely felt like a style and with content, like I was still polishing a 5.
And now you're going to be on TV.
Yeah.
I saw you,
Yeah,
on,
fuck
when
that.
I first saw you were doing a thing for John Christmas, weren't you?
With Divine.
At Lyric. Huh?
Yeah, it was that.
Oh, okay.
And that was like I was genuinely like basically doing open mic spots and then doing TV. And then you're doing TV like as an open mic, you're just like the fuck was this thing? And then they were like, yo, have fun, do the thing, but I didn't understand what all was
I
happening.
mean, it is a single swim like situation.
That's also very true. And then I think that's when I just learned to like you must just do the thing. Like when you get the opportunity you must take it.
Yeah.
Then Tafia called me like an hour later. She's like, no, we're not taking no for an answer. This is what must happen.
So you did it.
Then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. But then it blew my mind off, yo, they're paying for my flights. They're paying for a hotel. I was just excited to have a hotel.
That's
and
how
then,
the slaves
Oh, bro,
felt.
that's my favorite. Yeah. The weirdest thing is, I've
For your
like.
accommodation.
Yeah.
Road trip.
a boat trip on you.
Well, yeah, free transport and accommodation.
Yeah.
You're not taking no for an answer. You're getting on this one.
Did you get paid for the slot?
I did get paid. If I look back at this, it wasn't a lot.
You had like a fucking that thing that you use to do a presentation
PowerPoint.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
power
with a pie chart. You
Yeah.
like, oh, I was like, who
What?
the fuck is this guy?
Exactly. And that's the other thing, because I go, yo, no one knows. Like, you're supposed to be a name when you do the thing. Because there was one of 6, there was one of religion. I was on the religion one, and there was.
Oh yeah.
I'm
There's
upset
ladies.
I
There's
haven't
one
been
ladies.
invited for
Yeah.
any of these fucking things because I could do sex, I could do religion. Like,
And then what else did we? What it was a 3 thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
What was the
yeah,
other
there
one.
was 3. There was one with the 6th one was And there's one with you.
And race. So it was a race one, I think, as well.
I can't even
That
remember.
one I'd stay away from.
But anyway, so that was the thing. And then I was like, oh, everybody on all the other shows were names. And then there's me. Then I'm just like, guys, I shouldn't be on
Do you
this
think
lineup.
that was a demographic thing?
It's
Because
not
Lily and I
my
were
name.
even chatting with her, like she feels like for the nationwide thing that she fit a demographic, and that's why she got picked, even though she's talented as fuck.
I don't know if Big Big is a demographic, but I mean, even
Well, I mean, because you're Muslim.
no.
like-
So the thing is, it was a religious show. So
Yeah.
then KG Mukhari was the son of a son of a Sangoma basically, and then there was
Is
a
that his
Christian.
one man?
No, that was his position on the show basically.
Oh, I thought you like he was a son of a Sangoma. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that.
No, he's
He's
actually a
son
son of a Sangoma.
Alright.
KG.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he tells the gags about it.
That's why his career's doing so well.
And then there was a Christian comedian from the States, and then Casper de Vries was the atheist. And then Deep Fried Man was the Jewish. Do you say Jew?
He's Jewish.
Do you say Jew or Jewish?
Jewish.
Both,
Jewish.
but I think
I like
I think it
Jewish.
depends on how you say the word Jew.
In Durban,
Yeah.
in
Like
Durban, Jewish means like your
Oh, you're
clothing.
nice.
Yeah, like how you dress. That's your
Yeah, it looks
Jewish.
you're fresh.
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah.
Like someone that say, yo, you came in Jewished up. And you're like,
Yeah, that means you're wearing your number ones.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Oh, bro, is it that like a certain, like is it all Durban people slang? Was
maybe
it
Colored
it's colored,
people.
yeah.
colored people
Yeah.
slang? Oh, that's dope.
Jewish.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work that one in. Yeah, are you just?
I think I can't say that though. Like as the Muslim, I'm like, that's Jewish. Calm down.
Yeah, you
No,
guys
you
looking
could
pretty
say
Jewish.
that.
Let me take
I have no idea where.
You guys gonna take my land? Actually, there you go. You can have a land joke.
So yeah, so then.
But you know what they used to do, the WACT used to do? Like you're saying, if you think you were chosen based on a demographic, is they used to take like anybody that's making waves in their community, in their immediate surroundings, and they would put them on. So like traditionally, that's how they used to be. So like when you did that thing, it was that. So like Robbie, Pop-Ups, Mojack, myself, all of us. Whenever they did like things, they put us on. So that was just kind of the projection. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But like now, obviously, it's changed because it's all about money. So it's all about putting, I don't know, popular faces or whatever.
Yeah.
But I
Like,
also think that that's going to bite them long term, because if you only book what's popular and you're not creating what
Yeah.
like, the next wave,
Yeah.
then
I also
you're
like the
going to
fact that they
stagnate.
did all that. They would use like relatively new.
Yeah,
or,
the up and coming. They
or
would
people
spot.
that are getting recognized, and you'd go to gigs because John would come to gigs and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like now they're not in touch with comedy at all.
Yeah.
They know what you tell them.
But they've got other people on the ground who.
Who?
they listen
I've
to,
seen
right?
that
Like,
in the
they have the
gigs, though.
teams, like,
Alfred.
no, I mean no, not the comedians. I mean like Jade.
No, I'm saying Alfred is the only one that you see at gigs as part of the committee.
But
Yeah.
like, I mean, doesn't Jade go or anything like that? None of. I mean,
Tafia
But
goes
you
to gigs, so
can't
isn't
rely
it?
on what other people say because they
agreed.
have it in them. They know what's funny. They know what works.
Yeah.
So they need to be. That's all. I'm not just talking about wax. That's all the major
Yeah,
places.
you have to be
They
on the
need
ground.
to be
But they
there.
used to be over
yeah,
there
I mean, this is the
at
issue I
gigs
have
watching.
with On Fire. I'm just like, we have the only weekly gig in Durban for over a year now, and Jem and them are only there when I book Jem. Like, so it's like,
That's
Yeah.
exactly it.
and that's why like they're not.
It's
booking more
competition,
Durban
bruh.
comedians. Like,
Durban
So-
is small.
But-
Well, when I mean small in
It is, but
mentality, not in
yeah.
geography.
although I think in the next year or so, I think things are going to be like Cyril's now started another weekly gig, so that's on Thursdays. So, like, the gig itself is pretty cool, and Cyril's like, I like his passion for everything.
Yeah.
Like, I think that
Motivational Cyril.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do well long term because of how driven he is.
Yeah.
And he has improved a lot as a comedian, like in the last year or so, because he's more dedicated than a lot of other people. But other than that, so now we've got 2 weekly gigs, and I feel like that's.
But
the
are you
start
speaking of the Happy Hippo?
Yeah,
Was that weekly as well?
it's from this week.
Okay.
So I don't know when this is coming out, but from the week of the whatever week we're in. So that is
February.
so that is a gig though for other people to now. If you're listening to us around the country, just hit up Cyril Basker. He'll love you for it anyway.
If this releases in February, my birthday's on the 6th. My real birthday.
Mine's on the 21st.
It doesn't matter. Mine's
Yeah, so Cyril's running a thing. So like for me, that's the thing. It's like it should be a circuit, right?
Yeah.
Where everybody involved in comedy should want something to work because it's for the greater good of comedy.
Yeah.
But sorry, just on that note, that thing of when you see someone when comics want other comics to die on stage, I don't
want other comics to die on stage. I just don't mind it.
Because in every room we do, there's someone that's coming to comedy for the first time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you have someone,
This is the Goliath argument that they made about, like, at Comedy Con, about people starting their own gigs and sucking at it.
Yeah.
Whereas, I don't give a fuck. Like, for me, you're not booking me. I'm gonna book my own shit. Like,
but the thing
It's gonna
of
feed
you
you.
must still put on a good show.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
a good show means that person goes, I can spend my money on comedy. Because the second show can be shit, but it's like drugs. If the first one is good, you're gonna go back for seconds no matter how bad it
the
is.
first one's pretty much always
But
good.
also, like, last night, I didn't have a liquor show because other people weren't doing well. And then I was like, I want you guys to win. I don't like you as people, but I want you
Yes.
to win. So when I go on, the crowd are like, yeah, I'm ready for
I
this thing. I
definitely-
understand what's
I
happening.
definitely don't want the person who went on just before me to die because it's a little bit more work
Actually,
for
no,
me.
I like that though.
So it depends
Yeah.
sometimes, like, if
There's
I
like six
if I
people
know
that
my
died in a
opener
row.
for that night is
Yeah.
a banger, like if someone dies before me and I'm like, I got the one.
this.
But then the worst though is you're like, I got this, and you drop it, and you're like, I don't got this. Cool. So these next 10 minutes are going to be awkward.
But the thing of it's such a weird thing of as comics we also have the savior complex.
Yeah.
The thing of I'm
yeah.
gonna
I'm
win
gonna
tonight.
be the one.
I don't ever have that shit, bro. Like,
Really?
I'm like,
You know what I have?
'Cause I've seen-
Last night I had it because there were a lot of open micers. So when I got on stage, then I could see the audience relax because they were like, oh, okay, she knows what she's
Yeah.
doing.
see
Yeah,
somebody.
Even if they don't laugh, they don't have to worry about me doing some crazy shit.
Yeah, this is the thing for me this year,
My
especially.
brother got robbed, and then this is the gag. Let me tell you a gag from those nights. My brother got robbed outside my house, and he was screaming and screaming, and he came inside, and he said, I'm gonna go outside and rob that guy back for my things. He took a stick or something, and he went outside. So I couldn't understand why the old didn't go out and help his brother, but he stood inside, and he watched through the window. Then his brother came back without his shoes on. Oh, you're rolling on the floor, eh? Aren't you rolling on the floor?
That was the whole gag.
That's-
He said it word for word. I was there.
I mean, I get
And
that.
people
I,
were
I
like,
get
what the
it,
fuck is
but,
going on?
Like, I just don't see.
Guys, the only sound you can hear is
Do you know what that is? That is a product. Those guys, a lot of those guys who were on last night, have their own gigs. And that's a product of you having your own gigs and it's being shit. So now you have this shit circle going around
Yeah.
and you
So
egging
it's
each other
just-
on.
So this is okay, cool. Because
Durban
I've
has
heard
it.
about these death squads and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it's
Yeah.
a new
But-
thing.
But for me, like,
Durban
you
has
two,
it.
just for me, it was just like such a weird thing because it's like I just couldn't see it that way, and also because when we've done gigs, some have been cuck, but like for the most part, they work out.
But you have X. You
Yeah.
have X coming through.
But it's such a weird thing of, and Annie Committee said it was the best way, that thing of every rule stands and every rule doesn't stand.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
thing of, so some people perform in small circles and it works there because that, again, like a vernac crowd.
Right.
But then also the thing of those circles might be toxic again for you at the same time because they all will hype you and they'll be,
Yeah.
and you shit.
Exactly.
But at the same time, sometimes you need someone to hype you just for the first year and then you
Yeah.
find the magic and then you become
But the truth
that
shall
thing.
set you free.
Yeah. But also I feel like when
Welcome.
you
Like
start
you'll be free from this
like,
comedy thing if someone tells you your shit.
as the newest comer here, I just feel like if you start in comedy, you need to start in the path that's already been blazed. Like you need to start the rhythm before you can figure out where you are. You
Yeah.
need to find out what it is you want to be
Yeah, but at the same
Yeah,
time, like
yeah.
and not be also.
here in Cape Town, you have those avenues open to you though. Like
Exactly.
in Durban, like I literally started the first fucking weekly gig a year and a bit ago.
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, like,
That's crazy.
exactly. So that's why, like, I think we're under such a weird space. But I understand then, like, when the environment is set up for you to be able to succeed, and you don't, and you're not getting gigs and this and that, and then you go, well, I'm going to start my own thing. Maybe there you should actually just be like, why am I really not getting gigs?
So it's a thing of...
I've had other, On Fire Jim chimney to my face. He doesn't think I'm funny. So it's just like, okay. Like, that's fine. I mean,
but also,
same.
but at the same time, he's allowed to. But the thing of, at the same time, he's allowed to not think you're funny because fun is subjective.
Yeah.
It's
No, 100%.
truly-
It wasn't like a fuck. I mean, part of me was like, fuck you. But it was also like, cool. I mean, that's your
Yeah.
thing.
What year was this?
Like last year, actually.
Wow, it's a really recent score.
Well, no, but the thing is, it doesn't really affect me because, I mean, I've been doing my own gigs. Like,
You wonder why he doesn't come to your gigs.
I book him for the
I'm saying that's
Yeah.
it doesn't come.
But it's
And
a
he
thing of
doesn't
guys
do
must
that.
understand that not every you can't win in every room.
No.
Just not you can't win, but the thing of fun is not
Well,
for
here's the thing. I
everyone.
know that, like, the gateway gig's probably not for me.
Yeah, and it's fine. It's great that you understand that. Because I've had people go, "You're not funny." Then I go, "You
To
see,
you.
you cut. Maybe I'm not your funny, but you can't say I'm not funny. Like I've done enough with
That's
the
like,
career.
I know I'm funny. I've
Yeah.
heard the laughter.
You
Like,
killed hard enough to go. No, I understand why
I
I'm
think
funny.
this is a problem in general. People can't just go music or whatever creativity is. They just can't say it's not for me.
Yeah.
Like some people will rather say
Okay, no,
I
but
hate
with-
Ed
no, but
Sheeran,
with
he's
music-
the worst, than just say he's not for me.
That's all.
But also the thing.
don't get me triggered yet. Don't get me started on intro. We already did this on your cast.
But at the
Let's
same
not
time,
derail this one.
at the same time, are you gonna hate on someone that's earning more than you? At some point, even
That's who you hate on. What do you mean? That's
That's a bit
exactly
of-
who you
No,
hate
but
on.
I'm
You don't hate on someone below you.
Yeah, nobody does that.
Don't punch down.
I hate on the bakeries.
I mean, you heard the line from the Winston. Like, I hate on Trevor Noah because he's way more successful than me.
Never know is the best person out of South Africa.
Says the person who got put on TV. But
Yeah. You're not getting second season of Nation Wild, okay? Calm down.
Yeah, the rest of us are allowed to hate because we didn't get picked. So we.
I don't want to get picked.
It's what they just say.
Did you want to? Well, you'd stand out on nationwide, bro. Like you don't want to stand out.
You'll be the old guy with trick.
Yeah. Why is he there?
But he's got a ponytail.
Oh, I like that one.
Rivets.
Like, this has been fun. This has definitely not been the Almost Perfect podcast, but
It's been perfect.
it's been a version of a podcast that we're still going to put out, which will be fun. Yeah, anything else that you guys want to discuss? I feel like we got a lot here.
There's too much, eh? I feel like so that's the thing. Like, I don't like starting the conversation. I can add to the conversation though.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm fine. I've said my say.
you've barely said anything.
It's such a podcast thing to say. It's so damn cheesy. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you guys.
Actually, what I wanted to ask you is, what are you doing in Cape Town? Are you running gigs and stuff at all, or?
So I've slowed down with the weekly gigs. I'm starting another gig in November. But the gig is basically like a halal room. Not that the comedy is fully halal, but the venue doesn't sell alcohol, and it's a space for like cool Muslims to
Yeah,
come.
the last time I came here,
Are they cool
we
Muslims?
did a gig in a room full of Qurans.
Yeah, in Sabran Park basically.
Okay.
But it's a dope room. Like they show love. Like they're not you.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. So it's such a
Well,
weird.
yeah, I
thing of-
mean, younger
It's
Muslims
beautiful.
tend to be less conservative.
Yeah.
like, and-
They weren't even young Muslims; it was
Oh.
old people.
old people.
Yeah.
Yo.
People
the-
come with their whole families.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's
Yeah,
like
dick
aunties
jokes.
in dookies, but they laugh at the dick joke. Then you just go, yeah, because you're a person. It's not that thing. So they just don't have the space and the access to rooms that don't have alcohol.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to create
Yeah.
that scene for
Do you
them.
think it's important for us to bring comedy to people? Because this was something I was discussing with Altaf, and this is something like even myself, like over this last year, I've seen it's been really cool. Like a part of my goal for the next year is to do more gigs around KZN and smaller towns.
Yeah.
Because it is like that thing of like, why are we worried about bringing people coming to our shows when you go to small towns and people will come to a
Yeah.
fucking
They
show
go to
because
shall we?
they don't have like
And they
you
show
know,
small town love.
exactly.
Because you've brought it to them. That thing of, we've all done shows where you go, these people don't know me, they don't owe me anything, but there's magic happening here tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's like we go to Paul. Because it's so far out.
Why are you pointing at me?
No, but just that thing of like they go, you've made the effort to come here.
Yeah.
I love this thing.
But also, you guys are not really realizing how little happens in
Yes,
town.
yeah.
No, but that's why
It's cool to do, and now it's others, and now you go.
But that's a captive audience.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's the audience you actually want to come out.
yeah.
So it's the same thing with I'll say my community, and it's the thing of they only go to the Baxter.
Oh, you
And
go to the Baxter.
Yeah, they go see Mark at the Baxter once a year, and they
Ultimo.
maybe go to. I'm trying to think of who else because they won't go to Grand West because
Riyadh?
They go to Riyadh again, but then Riyadh will either be at the Baxter or he'll make his own space. And then even so, if he's not at the Baxter, it's a mission for
They
him
go
to
to
go there.
Simi.
Simi comes to them. So that's
Yeah.
the thing. I'm trying to make a space where Gola can perform to them
Yeah.
because they're never
But
gonna
it's
go
not
to
even
Gola.
like a different type of comedy.
Yeah,
Because it's the same thing they see all the
It's
time,
just
which is
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they see, but that's not it. It's not the normal working jokes kind of lineup
Yeah.
thing.
so I want to show them also. Another thing is I go. Someone gave me the opportunity. It's only right that I make that stage with someone else.
Yeah.
Because I go, I've made a career of it. Why not? Why are there not more Muslim comedians or just more comedians or
Yeah,
more
I
female
mean
comedians?
that's how I kind of feel about the whole thing. Was just that I wanted to pass it on.
Yeah, and also the thing of safe spaces because
Yeah.
again, bars are not the safest spaces for people for
No.
women to
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And-
why I made
and-
the Raptor room on the 9th of November.
Just
be.
drop
Young
it.
punt.
This one's probably gonna drop after that gig, but you guys are doing it monthly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But again, safe spaces are still needed, especially in the
Yeah.
in the
In
movement.
life?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just- So I'm trying to make those spaces for everyone.
Yeah.
And so even though the room happens to be majority Muslim, the comedy doesn't need to be Muslim, and the people there are not necessarily all Muslim.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Because most of the time the theme doesn't mean anything.
yeah.
Bunny chows and then
you-
you get there,
and
it's got
you all
nothing
I
know-
to do
always
with it.
find Durban has the weirdest and wildest names.
It's Masood.
Brainers at the
Charos
You
and
named it.
Brainers.
Charles and Brenos is Masood. I have Brenos at the bat.
Yeah.
But now I'm no more calling the Brenos at the bat. Now I went back to my original laughing stock comedy.
That's
Why'd you do
amazing.
that?
But the other thing
Eh?
is,
Brainless feels a bit apartheid.
Yeah,
But
that's
at the same time, that's all who comes. It's just literally 500 colored people.
no, but
And
that's
it's
the
a
thing.
lit room. It's one of my
So like
favorite
in Cape
gigs,
Town,
like-
we don't use the term Braino.
Yeah.
So that's why when I hear the term, I almost like, oh,
You know,
Yeah.
for us it's very easy, but
Yeah.
we don't use like bushy.
yeah.
I can't call it bushies at the
So-
bat.
so
They don't-
bushy-
Wow,
but
that,
Bushi is-
that sounds racist as fuck.
But Bushy is Joburg again. We used to don't
Yeah,
use Bushy.
What do you all use?
Colored.
We
No.
I think we
Wait,
also
do
use
people say
goodness.
Goodness.
Bushy
And
is not being racist or like
I don't like bushy, yeah.
no? That just sounds
Yeah. So Bushy is Joburg's colored term.
Yeah, but
Oh,
they
I
use
like
it
bushy.
freely. They use it freely.
You like it?
I like bushy.
'Cause it
it
refers to a hair.
describes because I live in Cape Town and I'm not a
Very
Cape
good.
Yeah.
Malay colored person.
Do you see any
So I'm
bushmen?
already on the outskirts. I'd rather be bushy than Cape Malay
Yeah.
Wow.
because it makes more sense to me.
Wait, are you
that
trying
I'm
to say
bushy.
that there's no term for colored people in Cape Town? That's
Colored.
weird. This is the homeland.
The main factory.
Yo, that's crazy. Like,
That's
Y'all
why
are-
we have a standard name and then just decorations.
You're
Yeah.
the factory shop versions of us.
yeah, you always got race classification.
We don't have a colored name.
We don't.
That's crazy.
That's why Braino and Bushy for me, I can't use the term because I go, that's not me. Firstly, because I'm Cape Malay, but also that thing of it's not a term I'm comfortable with.
That's weird. I can't say
Theoretically,
like
I'm okay with it because it's reclaiming.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I can get behind it, but don't call me a Breno.
Breno is
wow.
very simple.
The-
What about the brain can?
Yeah.
Brown, just a brown person.
Yeah, this is so weird because Braino is such a
I like things of the brain now. Fuck your cop.
It's weird that you
because like in Durban, like it's just like I
It's
mean, like
very
Charo
normal.
can be racist.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like if a
Isn't
white
it?
person no
Depending
like
on your stance.
like Indian
That's
people
again
call each
intention.
other Charo.
Yeah.
I've
So
never, it's always been a racist thing for me.
no,
No.
like oh fuck,
And
Durban's a
the
weird
K
space.
word for Indian people?
It's racist. It's always
isn't it the
racist.
C word?
What?
Is it C?
What's the C word? For Indian people.
I'm not gonna say it.
KOC.
Coolly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thank
Oh, yeah, that's a bad one. That's when you that's an insult.
you. Yeah.
But Charo, you can, cause
Like oh, it can be your
Guys,
mate.
I'm the closest to the Indian people.
Yeah,
that's why I
you
had to say it. That's
so like
Gotcha.
doing.
I don't know. I live in Durban, right?
fine. Yeah.
No, that's very offensive. So doing like
Okay, they've
Indian-
always been the same for me. The
Like
C
doing-
and the K.
no, so doing Indian gigs, like if you say I was in a place and it's just one Braino and a Charo, then it's fine. It doesn't. But if I sit amongst my friends and go, you know what I don't like about Charos,
Yeah.
then it's offensive. You know what I mean? You coming from an angle. Yeah.
Jew, it's the word Jew.
Yeah. We don't. That's the way we are taught. It's like you're not trying to say Jewish.
Yeah, but
or Jew.
Durban is just racist.
There's a lot of racism.
Let's
but
be
But then comes a small town mentality.
it's open
There's
racism. It's open racism.
Yeah, it's open. It's it's just normal. Like it's just you don't know that you're being like. When I was younger, I did a lot of racist things that I didn't know. Racist
That's before you knew better.
That sounded
Yeah.
like you were close to saying rapist things.
Well, also, yes. If I'm honest, but that's stuff I've addressed before. Not actual rapist things, just being
Rapey.
like a rapey, being a guy.
Yeah. Things we thought were fine, but it's actually
Yeah,
not.
because when you're usually told, if a girl says no, you just gotta try harder. Like that's what we were told.
Then
when
it's
we were younger.
cringing now.
No,
but at
like-
the same time, these are things though. Like this is like
no,
man.
it's fake. You're not wrong. It's the way we're all raised.
Yeah.
No, but that's why we
And
need to
also you
discuss
have to
this to
say
change
no
it.
a lot of times. Like we were also taught things like that. Like you must just let him weigh you down instead of no meaning no.
Yeah.
Or say yes when you mean yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Yes, you weren't supposed to say yes to the first time a guy
Because
asked
then you
you
were
out,
being
even
easy.
if you like it.
Yeah.
Let's say maybe.
But you see, that's what creates that culture then, because then guys
Yeah,
go,
'cause
but she
then
doesn't
you-
mean that's what she
Perpetuates
says,
the
no.
culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that took a weird turn, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's an off-ramp.
Yeah, but we're learning. That's the thing. As comedians, also we have that ability to speak about our ignorance and learn from it as
Yeah.
well.
Do
Yeah.
we really? Because I don't
I've
know.
had
The
very
public
productive conversations
calls it out a
until
lot.
someone jumps in, like a white woman, and she's like, "No, I've suffered more." Like,
I feel like if you're saying I've had a productive conversation until someone else spoke, then it's like that's not a conversation. That's a soliloquy.
Yeah.
Like
It's an
yeah, I've
introspection.
had a great monologue.
Oh, man.
guys, I must be off now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we've actually reached the end there. This is gonna be a fun one to put out. This has been cool. Thank you very much to everyone, to Richelieu.
Thank
to
you
Yaaseen,
for having me.
Thanks.
and to Lindy at the end there again,
It's
just
my
doubling
pleasure.
up. This is my first guest to appear twice. Well, I mean,
Pizza
I've only done
fingers.
like 5 of these.
I've
already.
never come twice.
Oh, that is the place to end.